Hi everyone, Ryan here from Fight Game Analysis, and today we are going to be talking about the upcoming fight between Devin Haney and Jojo Diaz. But before we jump into that, if you enjoyed the content, please go ahead and click on the like button and also subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate your support. Alright, so we've got a big fight coming up on Saturday night between Devin Haney and Jojo Diaz. Now, a lot of people are looking forward to this one. Prior to this fight, Jojo Diaz was kind of linked to a fight between him and Ryan Garcia, but that kind of fell through. Now we're looking at him matching up with Devin Haney. So there's a lot of people looking forward to it, myself included. Now, Jojo Diaz came up from a lighter weight, pretty accomplished as an amateur. Prior to turning pro, had some good success national, international, made the 2012 Olympic team. Didn't get a medal or anything, was out of there in, I believe, the second round. But he's turned pro, signed with Golden Boy. He's been doing some big things. This is only his second fight, though, at lightweight. Right, only his second fight at 135 pounds. He's moving up from the lighter weights. Looked pretty impressive. In his first outing at 135, took on Fortuna. Won that one. Now moving right up to Devin Haney. That's a big jump. Big jump. You know, I really looked at that fight with Fortuna because it's the only one he had at 135 pounds, and I found two things interesting about it. Number one, he looked good on the inside. We already know that's his game plan. He wants to come forward. He wants to apply pressure. Not anything crazy, but he wants to move forward and apply pressure, and he wants to get it on the inside and do his work. Now, that's going to be particularly the case at 135 pounds because he's undersized for the division. I want to say he's like 5'6" with only a 64-inch reach. He's giving up like 7 or 8 inches in reach to a guy like Devin Haney, I think 2 or 3 inches in height, but when he's going to be undersized basically against anybody that he goes against, you know, for the most part at 135 pounds. But he goes in there against Fortuna. So it already fits his style. He likes to come in and do work on the inside, needs to come in and do work on the inside because of it, because of the size differential, and he was able to. But what I particularly liked about it was the way that he worked that left hand. Right? He had two things that he did. He's got some decent timing, decent control of distance, so he was able to time himself well coming in. He was able to go to the body with that left hand. The other thing, he was able to come in and he was able to kind of use a chopping left hand. But what I really liked about that was that it emphasized his understanding of timing. Because if you throw the left hand from too far away, you're going to give your opponent the ability to react defensively. If he's got that gear, if he's able to see it, if he's able to time it, you're going to give him that opportunity. Then you've leapt in, you might get out of position at that point. He's going to be able to counter you, spin out, whatever it may be. But if you step in and you close the distance without throwing punches, now you're already a little bit closer. Got there with your feet. Now it's going to give you the ability to throw that left hand. He was throwing a chopping left hand because Fortuna was trying to get underneath it, but it's going to give you the ability to throw that left hand with less tell on it. It's going to give your opponent less of an opportunity to react defensively. He was doing that well. Jojo Diaz was coming in. He was doing that well. That's where he was seeing success on the inside, going to the body, things like that. It's how he pulled out the victory in that fight. Right? That's kind of his style, and it's what he showed there. It's what we can think to expect in this fight with Devin Haney. Now, Devin Haney, on the other hand, in my opinion, much more talented fighter. I think he's much more gifted athletically. Like, very talented fighter. I mean, this guy's young, 23, maybe 24 years old. Got some great people in his corner. You hear him working with Floyd Mayweather. He's out there in Las Vegas. By all accounts, appears to be taking his craft very seriously. I don't know. Sky's the limit, man. Sky's the limit with this guy, right? I love the feints. I love the way he works that jab. He's got the hand speed, works combinations. Look at that fight with Jorge Linares. Early in that fight, I want to say it was the second round, we saw some beautiful offensive to defensive transitions. Devin Haney was able to come in there, land his shot, and he was either able to get underneath the check left hook that Linares was trying, or he was able to back out from either the left hand or the right hand when Linares tried countering with that. Was able to get in, land his shot, and then back out. Jorge Linares is a world-class fighter, man. Yes, maybe that wasn't his best day. Yes, maybe his best days were behind him. But still, that man is a world-class fighter who brings a lot of skill. Big, rangy himself, a lot of experience. Devin Haney went in there and looked very impressive. Now, one of the things that I found interesting in that fight, Devin Haney was able to get that jab off against Linares. Linares actually made a change of plans, in my opinion, kind of mid-fight, makes this adjustment and starts going with these bigger combinations, jumping in, throwing 3 and 4 punch combinations, trying to get things off that way. Now, Devin Haney was able to, defensively, he's really good. He was able to avoid most of that, block most of those, roll the steam off punches. They did land for the most part. But Linares was thinking along the lines of, I'm going to try and either counter him when he throws a shot. I'm going to either try to punch in between his shots if he tries to counter me, or I'm just going to throw so many punches, 3, 4, 5 punch combinations, that he's not going to be able to keep up defensively, and eventually something's going to land. Now, for the most part, that didn't work. Right up until it did. Right up until it did. We saw that late in the fight, and it was like the third or the fourth punch in that combination, that right hand that's coming over. Devin Haney was typically pretty responsible. He was able to get behind that left shoulder, but in that one, it wasn't. That one he wasn't. He got caught with a nasty shot. Imagine if that would have been with like a minute left in the round. He even came out in the next round. Maybe even for the rest of the fight. Like, he was on shaky legs. He had to clinch. He was not looking what he was, his normal self, not acting the way he normally would. Like, that was a significant punch. Now, do I think that's necessarily going to play in this fight? No, because Jojo Diaz isn't a puncher. See, here's the thing. I'm going with Devin Haney in this fight. I think it's going to be a decisive victory. I think it's going to be a clear victory. Styles make fights. Jojo Diaz is undersized for the division. He's not going to be able to deal with Devin Haney's jab. Man, Devin Haney will come out there and throw 40 jabs around, jab your face off. If you can't deal with that, all he's going to do is just continue to work it. It's like a piston. Just bam, he can fire it out there with laser accuracy. He was getting that jab off almost at will against a guy like Jorge Linares. With the experience that he has, I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to get that going early and often against Jojo Diaz. If you don't have an answer for that, and I don't think he does, I don't think he's got a check right hook that's going to be able to stifle it. I don't think he's going to be able to come inside of it or get his head off the center line and counter with his straight left hand. I think he's at a speed disadvantage. We saw how Jojo Diaz deals with a speed disadvantage. When guys with really fast hands, he doesn't do all that well. He needs to get inside. He's already the undersized fighter. He comes in kind of behind the jab. He can kind of work behind it. But being as undersized as he is, as good as the jab that Devin Haney has. So he'd have to jab with a jabber. Significant reach disadvantage. Significant foot speed disadvantage. In my opinion, significant foot technique disadvantage. Like, Devin Haney is just that, he's just that good in my opinion. He makes some mistakes here and there, but when you look at him, I mean, like I said before, I believe the sky's the limit with him. He's that good. He just needs to continue to stay disciplined, continue to work at his craft, and he's just going to continue to grow. It's not, I mean, all of these things sound as though I'm talking that negatively about Jojo Diaz, and that's really not the case. The man is a talented fighter. We're only talking about coming up against Devin Haney, and I just think Devin Haney's that good. I'm not alone. The odds makers got him at like, a 6-1 or a 7-1 favorite. I see that. Believe it or not, I still think there's value in the line. Honestly, I really do. When you look at the odds and I assign the percentages that I think Devin Haney has to win this fight, I mean, Jojo Diaz isn't a knockout puncher, particularly at 135 pounds. So I don't think he's going to go out there and even be able to land a shot as hard as Jorge Linares does. I think Devin Haney is going to be even better. He's, like I said, he's continuing to grow, continuing to progress in his craft. I think his jab, Devin Haney's jab, is going to be just money all night long. And then he's going to work from that. He's going to work that right hand in there. He goes to the body decent with the right hand himself. He's going to start to work in the combinations in the left hook. I think he's going to go out there. I think he's going to look great, man. Really. So let me know what you guys think. Am I underestimating what Jojo Diaz brings to the table? He's going to show us a chink in Devin Haney's armor. He's going to build on what Jorge Linares did by landing that big shot at the end of the fight, except he's going to do it early and then try to finish? Or is Devin Haney going to come out here and show us how he's continuing to grow and progress and just flash those skills for us once again? Let me know what you guys think.